Okay, so here's the deal. I don't know if I told you this or not, but I'm an English major too, and I am committed to writing across the curriculum. So once a semester, you will write an essay for me. Now, here's the deal, before you get all freaked out. It's due November 18th. Okay, so make a note. Due November 18th. Here are the requirements for the essay. I want you, I call this a Thanksgiving essay. We'll have one during Lent. So our Thanksgiving essay is, I want you to write to me, write a little paper about one quality you possess that you are thankful for. Now, do not write an essay about how you're thankful for your wonderful mother. I appreciate that, and that's awesome. But you are writing an essay about a quality that you possess that you're thankful for. So maybe you are the best listener, maybe you are very generous, maybe you're a good big brother. I don't know. Whatever you're good about, you're writing about yourself, you're bragging about yourself. You're saying, this is something I am proud of myself for. MLA format, 1 page minimum. So it has to be at least a full page, and that's it. Now, if you want to write more than that, that's fine. There's no maximum, there's no penalty for going overboard. It's worth 20 points. It should be an easy 20 points because the topic is subjective. I mean, I can't grade you on content, right? As long as you talk about your quality you possess, whatever you say is good because it's you. However, I do have an English major, so I will be grading for form also. So that means it's not a text message. It means we're going to capitalize, we're going to use periods, we're going to spell correctly, no LOLs and whatever else you guys put in your things, right? It's a regular paper like you would write for your English teacher, but it's only 1 page. And today is what, October 7th? And I'm assigning it, and it is due on November 18th. So one quality that you are thankful for, you are free to turn that in whenever you get it done. So if you go home this weekend and say, I'm going to crank this out and get it done, and you want to bring it to me Monday, that is great. But it is due on November 18th. And of course, like everything, I have no idea if we have class November 18th or not. It doesn't matter if we have class or not. It's due November 18th, so get it to me, okay?
Doesn't matter how long it is.
It has to be at least 1 page. And it's MLA format, which means it'll be typed, double-spaced, you know. Don't be giving me this 18 font. That's not MLA format. You can write a page about yourself. You could write a book title. Okay, any questions about the assignment? Okay, all right, then what I want you to do is find the paper, and I think in my packet it is the 4th piece of paper in the packet. The 4th piece of paper, it looks like this. The 4th sheet. It's shrunk down, and one side says Precal A makeup quiz, period 5 is dynamite, and the other side says quick review, 2-1 to 2-5. So it's the 4th page. Count 1, 2, 3. There it is. Now there's one thing on here that we need to talk about because we haven't yet, but it's not the first problem. Number 1 says find all the zeros of this polynomial. Okay, so we're going to find all the zeros of this problem. Which, by the way, you did something like this on your quiz, right? It wasn't this big. All right. So I kind of guide you through the steps and say, okay, first of all, what are the possible rational roots? Okay, well, you should know this. There's a lot of them. What are they? Plus or minus what? 1, 2, 3, and 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. All over 1. So this is an example of a time when the possible rational root rule isn't very helpful, because that's a huge pile of numbers. And you would pick 1, 2, 3, 4 anyway, right, if you were just on your own. Okay, so that's that one. Now, it's this next one that we haven't talked about. Now, at this point, these are your PRRs. At this point, you would start guessing numbers and putting them in, right? And hoping that what happens? It equals 0. Now, let's suppose that you guessed -3. All right? And I don't know if it works or not. Let me divide it out and see. I'm going to put -3 in. I'm going to divide it out and see what happens. Now remember, I can either plug in -3 or I can actually divide it out. Both will accomplish what I want to accomplish, right? Okay. Now I'm dividing because for this problem it's necessary, and I'll explain that in a minute. But let me go ahead and get the division done. And you do it too, and keep an eye on things because, oh my. Alright, keep an eye on things for me. Make sure I didn't make a mistake. That seems like an awfully large number. While we're at it, I'm going to do the next one too. I'm going to do a division. The next problem says, how about 4? What's going on with 4? So I'm going to go ahead and divide out 4. Do I have a mistake? I hear some whispering. 4 times 18 is what? 72? Did I divide okay? Now, what we mean by upper and lower bounds for the roots is, you know, when you graph one of these things, whatever it looks like, okay, that you would have these 3 roots. For this picture, you'd have these 3 roots. There are no roots. Now that I have a graph, I can see that there are no roots past this one, right? Now that I have it graphed, I can see that. Well, you can actually tell that algebraically without the graph. You can find an upper bound and a lower bound. There are no roots beyond this point, and there are no roots beyond this point. So how do you tell? Well, for a lower bound, this one was a lower one. For a lower bound, the answer here is no. It is not a lower bound. And why I know that is, if it's a lower bound, when you do the division, your signs of your answer here, your quotient, this part right here, the signs will alternate. So plus minus plus looks really good, but this one should have been a minus, and it wasn't. So if you have found a lower bound, your signs in your answer after you do the division are going to alternate. So if I would have gotten 1, -5, 2, -32, +120, if that would have been my answer, then yes, -3 is a lower bound. Now how can that be helpful? Well, let's say you guessed something like -3, and you got this. Now that means -3 is a lower bound. If this is what would have happened, -3 would have been a lower bound, which means don't try any numbers less than -3. See what I'm saying? That would be a lower bound. You couldn't go any lower than that. Well, we don't have a lower bound, so we could try some other numbers. If you're going to be an upper bound, then the signs are all the same. So the answer here is no. If this were going to be an upper bound, my numbers would have turned out like this, and they didn't. All right. Let me find real quick. Let me find another one.
Where you going for a flight? Yeah.
I'm gonna pull one out of the book.
Yeah, there's good one. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so here's one in the book. Let's try this one. This is a homework problem. And I'm going to come back and finish this in a second. But I want to do this upper bound, lower bound thing one more time. So here's our polynomial. And we want to know if -1 is a lower bound, and if 3 is an upper bound. Okay, so this is our question. All right, so here we go. If we want to know if -1 is a lower bound, we're going to do the synthetic division, and we'll put -1 out in the box, and then we'll do our regular division. So here we go. Now, what do you think? Is -1 a lower bound for this problem? Yes. Because why? They alternate. And when they alternate, you have found a lower bound. Now, is 3 an upper? Well, we do exactly the same thing. Only we'll put 3 out in the box. And hopefully I did that right. My multiplication stuff was right. What's your conclusion? Is 3 an upper bound? Yes, because the signs in the quotient down here are all the same. Okay? All right, now we're going to finish the problem, which is, what are the roots? So here it is. Now, we know -3 isn't going to work, and whatever I tried over there isn't going to work. I can't remember what it was though. Okay, so we know those are out. Don't try those. Try something else. How about 1? That looks sort of promising. I think 1 works. So what do I do? What did you do on your quiz? The minute you find one that works, what do you do with it? You divide it out. And what's going to happen down there on the end? Right here. That's what's going to happen right here. Because the number you get when you plug in is your remainder. So I knew if I plugged in, I got 0, so I better get a remainder of 0. All right, what's that? That's x to the 3rd. Minus x squared. All right, what do we do now?
We
right? We do it again. So is it possible that one could work again?
Yes.
It is. I don't think it does though, does it? No. What about two?
Happy birthday.
Hello, Cathedral.
Oh, we can
Happy
just carry it over.
Happy birthday, Indiana. Today's conversation
Peter hugs.
bicentennial torch through Scott County, Scott County, Rocky County, and White County. Home of the Indiana Beach Amusement Park. There really is more than one in Indiana. 76
I've got a meeting.
Alex, you turn that off.
Only 1 week left in the bicentennial torch relay.